Hey guys, D1sco here, and welcome back to Storytime with D1sco. Today I'm gonna talk about the weirdest conversation that had happened on Instagram. So, disclaimer: you I don't really use Instagram anymore. I've I personally am not. I personally don't I personally am not the biggest. I'm personally not a fan of Instagram, so I don't use it. Um, so the background context of the story, then, if I don't like it, was just there was someone who really wanted me to, someone who, we occasionally message, but it's been like this for a while, so I kind of knew them a little bit. So this friend who I don't message all the time wanted me to follow them, so I did. And shortly after doing that, there was a username um, by the name of Tim that messaged me. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning the username because is because the account doesn't exist anymore. I know a lot of people when they share stories like this, they don't like to say the names, and I'm definitely that way as well. But the account doesn't exist anymore. Um the account isn't. It was like one of the last times I went on that account. I noticed that the person their account didn't exist anymore. Anyways, so Tim randomly messaged me. Again, no idea who Tim is. I don't know who this person is, but I saw like a message on Instagram of whoever this Tim is, and they were asking the weird, like randomly out of the blue with zero context, um, was saying like weird stuff, like wanting me to be his sister and all this weird crap that made zero sense. Anyways, anyways, so so he randomly with zero context called me, like, because you can call for Discord. And I just want to give a little disclaimer or just a little backstory on like my sort of on me real quick. Um, I'm I'm not much of a caller. Unless if it's family or Orange that's calling me. Unless if it's one of those two options, I'm probably not going to respond because I'm not a big caller. I get very anxious and nervous when it comes to that type of stuff. And quite frankly, that's just kind of how I am. I'm just a very anxious and nervous person when it comes to that. And you add the fact that a random stranger randomly called me out of the blue, and I get even more anxious and nervous because I someone who doesn't really. If I get to know the person, it's fine. Like, I feel a bit more comfortable. But random stranger randomly messaging me, asking me to be their sister. I'm sure, as you guys can tell, because you can hear my voice, how bizarre that sentence is. But obviously, it's Instagram, so they didn't know. Anyways, I didn't pick up because I saw the weird thing and I was just confused the whole time. They stopped like the call shortly after starting it because I it was obvious I wasn't gonna pick up because I wasn't. And then oh yeah, and then they proceeded to say weird stuff like why aren't you oh yeah. So then they're like, why didn't you answer or something like that? And then they ended up calling me a second time. Uh, it was like a bit more message. I think they sent me like one or two messages and then called me a second time. I didn't answer again. And then, oh yeah, and then it was something like, and they kept saying sis a lot. It was weird. Anyways, and then it was something like, sis, why aren't you. Hold up, let me get the right tone of voice for sis, why aren't you calling me? There we go. And all this weird stuff. And then they called me a third time. This random person I don't know and will probably never meet in my life called me a third time. And I again, once again, didn't answer, didn't respond. Um, luckily for me, after the third calling attempt, they stopped messaging me completely, and I was much happier with that because I didn't know this person, and just saying weird stuff like that out of the blue is just like not uh, doesn't really work with me. Like I don't know what they were trying to do, and that really soured my mood and viewpoint of Instagram, if I'm gonna be honest. So even though I already now very much am not the biggest fan and don't like it, I like it even less now because of that weird experience. And um, there was other weird messages on that account, like that first day. Like somebody was wanting to be one of them was wanting to be like my sugar mommy. I don't. I think that account might still be up, but I haven't heard from it in a while. Um, there was a lot of like very scam feeling things of people claim of like accounts claiming that they helped that people had sent them like however much money, and then they got back like more money from them later and all this weird stuff. Um, the entire experience soured my mood of Discord completely. Now I just I so now I very much am not a Discord or Instagram support. I much prefer Discord. Now I haven't used Discord that much either. I don't know. I'm not a big social media guy. I have some, but the only reason why I have those is because a family member or Orange will contact me through that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have it. Um, it was very strange. If you like this, if you, I don't know why I keep wanting to say that. If you like Instagram, that's fine. Um, I know I'm not gonna judge, but that's if you like it, that's totally cool. I personally don't. Um, and yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If just know that these videos are very rare story times. Um, when I first did the series, it was the inspiration for it was some weird Dead by Daylight matches that I had, and then I end up getting a and then somebody was, um, and then someone was, and then someone had left a negative comment that was criticizing like myself, not so much the channel or the video, or giving like criticisms that I could use for future videos, nothing like that. Like constructive criticism on the channel is always appreciated and nice. This guy didn't do that. This guy instead criticized myself in such a way that I didn't really know how to respond to the criticisms, and it wasn't like constructive, so I couldn't use the feedback at all. It was mostly just targeting myself, and it's like you can kind of change yourself, but you have to like work very hard at that for a while. So there was, and it's like, and you don't have, and I'm also somebody who kind of lives by that idea of not changing yourself for anybody. That person left quite a bit of negative comments that had, whether they meant to or not, a negative tone towards me. And it's very much has soured my mood on a lot of series and videos. I don't. have anything against the person. They've have offered a lot of constructive criticism that I've used, that me and Orange have implemented and used and whatnot. Um, but yeah, so story time pretty much ended with that comment, and also just um, there were a few matches of Dead by Daylight I remember considering to use for it, but there wasn't anything what to do. It was like a very long time later, like months, maybe a year. I brought back to talk about really old matches that I had, and one of which included Orange. So there's a comment on that video from the man, the myth, the legend, Orange. Giving a little bit more context because he was the one who was playing, and then that, and then and then there was one on there was one on the game Xenoverse 2 because I wanted to talk about a very strange, like by far the weirdest I've seen in years of playing the game, player. So I made a video talking about that, and then I made a video talking about and then there's an incredibly popular video of ours where we waited an hour in Overwatch 2 to play game mode and basically didn't even get to play it, and I had problems, and I had my game completely crashed, and then my story time was on the second issue that I ended up having, which was basically it was unplayable. Like I was like completely frozen, and I had this weird menu, and I was like at this weird menu. You can go back and watch that video if you want to know more, because it'll make more sense. But yeah, so this is an every once in a while series um, because of the criticism, because of the negativity towards me, and and even though this is kind of a whatever series, just like whatever I feel like talking about and not, I there's almost never anything interesting going on in my life that I feel like would be so even remotely interesting to talk about. Um, and I don't know if and I'm very nervous about uploading this because um, it's very different from our usual videos. Um, so I so please keep the negativity to a minimum because I'm already like anxious about the performance of this video. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, ring the bell, do all the algorithmic garbage. It helps us out a lot and it means a lot to us. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Boo.